I think we will most likely go back towards Gallagher side, maybe check down there and see if we have any luck. Just check for a couple more birds around here. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing all of your screenshots from the wild dog sighting. Louise, who's directing, was telling me that they're awesome and they were looking really, really good. It was a very pretty scene. Very, very nice. No birds. We've had some great bird parties along here before. Puma, I haven't decided on a name for Maurice's new friend just yet. I might try and sit and think throughout. Just yet, that really grabbed my attention that I think would be fitting for Maurice's companion. So we'll keep at it. We'll keep going. I have taken it out the car though because I didn't want it to get dirty. Because we all know what Maurice looks like. Maurice is filthy, and that's just because he's an elephant, and elephants are always dirty, always covered in dust. So we'll try again this afternoon and see what other suggestions we get.
This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our sunrise safari here on Wild Earth. As you can see, a beautiful grey heron just moving along here at Gowrie Dam. We are on Djuma Private Game Reserve in the Sabi Sand, South Africa. It is a real nice, fresh, cool morning this morning, and I think quite a bit of cloud cover around here. Good morning, everybody. My name is Cedric Dold, and behind the camera we've got Eckhard, and we are on Rusty this morning, and we have got Kelly that's sitting on Wendy, and of course there in Pridelands we've got JP. Thank you very much for joining us on this beautiful, coolish morning. Not really warm at all. A lot of cloud cover, and definitely it's the first time I've got my bigger jacket on for the season. Now, of course, if anybody's got any comments or any questions or any suggestions that you want to put forward to us, please go and visit us on our social media platform, Twitter at #WildEarth, or just go onto our website, wildearth.tv, and go onto our channel page. Make sure you do register there. And as well, anybody under the age of 18 years old, please pop us an email at kidsquestions@wildearth.tv. Please send those comments and questions, suggestions forward to us, so we can at least keep you entertained, and you guys can keep us entertained and learn about our beautiful bushveld here in South Africa. Well, as we can see, a beautiful grey heron, still busy just wandering around the waterhole at Gowrie Dam. I think just trying to look for an early morning snack, maybe a little fish or two, maybe some little frogs that's still around at the moment. But definitely, I think the grey heron. Just look at that reflection as well. So there's not a breath of wind at the moment at in Djuma Private Game Reserve. It's really much just a real overcast day. I think it's about 21, 22 degrees Celsius at this point of time. It does sound quite warm for most people in the Northern Hemisphere, I'm sure. But yeah, for us, for me especially, I'm a sunny guy, so I always like the sun. And there's a lot of cloud around at the moment. So yes, but it's going to be a fantastic day. We are live, we are interactive. So yes, everything that you do see for the next 3 hours on our game drive, it's all going to be live, and send us those questions. I did hear some lions calling earlier from camp, maybe a little bit east of us, maybe down towards central, maybe north. So I am going to go and pretty much try and head into that direction to see, especially that it's still early morning, to see if we can find any cats this morning. I know Kelly, she's going to be working towards I think Buffelshoek cut line. Maybe going to go a bit west there. I think she said she also wants to look around, maybe at Sandy Patch and those areas. We see a lot of little birds around here, a little bit blacksmith lapwing, so just enjoying the foraging around here. Just picking up all the little water arthropods and insects, and a nice little couple of snacks around the water edges. But yes, the water is definitely dropping quite a bit. I see quite a bit of the island. Gurry Dam now is quite exposed, so it's going to be fantastic. Carol, good morning. Welcome to our sunrise safari here on Wild Earth. Thank you very much for your comments. Yes, a morning of birding is always good, especially on a day like this, or I think more so on a nice sunny day, but you never know. Even a bit of a cloudy day, we still get loads of birds around in these areas that we can still focus on. It's always a beautiful area to do the birding. But we're going to move slowly head towards central side, and then we're going to see what we can find there. Hopefully we can pick up on something nice and fresh while it's early, while we heard those lions calling. I don't want to miss out on that, so let's see what else we can find. But yes, holding thumbs for the morning. Anyway, while we head to central, let's head to Kelly. She wants to say good morning to everybody.
Good morning, everyone, from a chilly, breezy Djuma this morning. We had a few spots of rain overnight, I think, and there is fairly heavy cloud cover this morning. But we are out and we are wrapped up warm. My name's Kelly. I'm going to be with you for this morning. And with me on camera, we have the delightful Craig. Welcome, Craig. I'm here on Sandy Patch, or just past Sandy Patch, on my way to Sydney's Dam. I'm still pondering if these lions came in yesterday or not. I haven't seen any tracks. I am going to work this area for a little while. Our buffalo did cross into Buffelshoek around 6 o'clock yesterday, although there may have been a few stragglers. But I'm going to work this area for a little while. We've got some beautiful magpie shrikes and some starlings here. I'm sure there's maybe some insect activity in this super cool weather. I'm just looking on Craig's monitor, and it actually gives a really good indication of the weather. You can see the breeze. You can see how low the light is this morning, and that's exactly how it feels to be here. So I hope you are all settled under a snuggly blanket with a nice cup of coffee, and you can join us for the morning and we will see what's going on. We've got some impalas slowly making their way across this golden grass now. Nina, yes, it is nice to be out in this weather. Yesterday was beautiful, but the 2 days before that were blistering hot. So it is a nice respite from that oppressive heat. I'm sure lots of these impalas and lots of animals this morning will be snuggled down somewhat, but also really good weather for predators to move. This breeze will mask their scent, it will mask their sound, but it does make most animals a little bit on edge. So most of these prey species will be very alert. They'll be in open areas, playing it safe. Megan, we were just talking about that, Cedric and I, about how long it's been since we've had any activity there at the hyena den. I have just heard another vehicle's going to pop in now, and I think this morning we'll sort of take it in shifts. We'll maybe shoot in at least once, if not more times. I did have a look at the other den site on Taxons yesterday. I wonder if it's not worth maybe popping in at the old den site down at Twin Dams. Maybe I'll head down there. I'll spend a bit of time working this area, seeing if there is any sign of any lions coming in or out. We did have audio this morning, but they were far. Did sound like they were probably across the other side of Buffels Hook. But I'll maybe spend a little bit of time seeing if we can't bump into some lions, and then if not, maybe it might be worth heading down to that old den site at Twin Dams. We know they do move den sites on a fairly regular basis. Good morning, Margie. I'm glad you think so. Craig and I just heard a massive and we both went, oh. But it looks like it's this male. Did you see all that movement around there? These males are starting to rut hard. But I'm glad you enjoy our mornings, Margie. We're very pleased that you could join us. Thank you for the comment. These males are inclined to moments of explosive activity at the moment. Craig and I just went, oh. It's because often in this rutting season, the start of a girly chase sounds like an alarm call. But we're gonna be seeing lots of activity with these boys. But these boys must pay attention. Predation rates in impala rams goes up by about 70% in the rutting season. They just don't concentrate. Typical boys chasing the girls, not focusing on staying safe. Lisa, books will tell you it lasts about 3 weeks, but it's much more, in my opinion, it's much looser than that. They don't like start on a Tuesday and finish on a Tuesday 3 weeks later. I mean, we often see late impala lambs born, so we actually often run books when the first impala is going to be born. I think the earliest one that was seen last year was the 30th of October. A friend of mine saw up near Satara. And then we have that glut of a few weeks of lots of babies. So the fact that babies are born at different times tells me that the rut is looser than we think. And of course, people that say, oh, impalas won't give birth until, the rains come. If something's pregnant, it's pregnant. And while it might, there might be maybe a week or something leeway. Either way, they can't stay pregnant indefinitely. But we do see some late impala babies all the way through to January sometimes. So that tells me there is mating going on for a lot longer than 3 weeks. But these impala rams have been snorting and running for a good couple of weeks already. Not full on, but we've certainly started to see the splits in social structure and different behaviours. I'm going to carry on working up around these cut lines, maybe Aubrey's down as far as Gallagher for a little while. See if we can't come right with these lines, so fingers crossed. I'm just going to sit here for another couple of minutes, I think, and listen. I haven't heard a hint of an alarm call or a snort. other than these boys having a chase around. We have had a little bit of rain overnight, which might make tracking a bit more difficult, and also that wind yesterday. It's going to have had a massive effect. So I'm going to have to resort to using ears as opposed to eyes this morning. Ooh, this sun's just popping out now, putting some lovely light on these impalas.
Welcome back, everybody. I am on Nyala South at the moment. I do have male leopard tracks heading all the way south on Nyala South here, heading towards maybe the Molawaiti side. But it's very difficult at the moment because we did have a couple of spots of rain earlier on this morning. And looks like it could have been maybe in the last hour or two when the male leopard came through here. But a big male leopard, so I'm definitely just going to look carefully and see if we're lucky and get something around here. But so far, just the tracks itself. I think he cut across now. We're taking a shortcut. As well, we had buffalo tracks coming, nice buffalo tracks coming on Central running, and we also entered the block. That's why I came onto Nyala South, due to the fact of it looked like one big male buffalo running into this area. So maybe something was chasing it and coming in here, but I haven't seen any tracks coming out for that buffalo. I want to take a look here quickly. I think it's still moving in that side. I'll just have to look carefully here. I mean, I don't know how far we are behind this leopard. As you know, they can really travel great distances at night time and patrolling the area. But I'm also going to head towards Twin Dams just to follow up on Tsemba from last night, from his young warthog kill. Maybe he's taking it up, maybe he hasn't finished everything, and I'm just thinking maybe if he did take it up into a tree, we would get to see it better. But if that's the case, I'm hoping. But let's see. I love the the smell is very nice at the moment, especially after a little bit of rain that we had this morning. I don't say not much rain, just a little bit of spot rains around. And it's got this real bush smell. Love it. Shaz, good morning, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. I want to really like to see Sasha this morning. Yeah, Sasha, we haven't seen Sasha for a long time in this area. I think Sasha, the reason for that, I think because you got Marips here, you got Tsemba this side as well. So I think you got a lot of pressure from other younger males in this area at the moment. And I think for Sasha to come back up here as well, It's going to be real too much pressure, and pointless for him. I think that's why he's still staying to further south, next to his mom's, or in his mom's territory, Sibuye. And it's a Lunga as well. But Lunga can come further up because she's starting to really push more north. But Sasha, I think, yeah, it won't be a clever idea if he decides to also pull into this area, because it's just a lot of pressure from other younger males. I don't really see much coming out here. I just want to look carefully around here, this side. I might. But we might break up a little bit. We are going into the Molawati, so the feed might break up a little bit, yeah? But just hold on, let's see if I can get through the Molawati. Of course, we don't see many tracks of Kalamba and the cubs at the moment. Either I think she's got a kill somewhere with those cubs, or she's in tortured with those cubs. So yeah, I haven't seen any of the tracks coming through over Cheetah Cut line as well. We'll take a look. Sorry, I'll try and get up here. There's a lot of dark clouds around as well. But I don't think it'll rain. I think it's just the clouds are a little bit high. But you never know. That's how it starts pouring. I would follow up on that male leopard tracks, as I said, but I think it's very difficult when it starts raining, and then that's how it's not gonna be feasible to follow up on something that could be already from last night, early last. And especially these boys, they can really move quite a bit, quite quickly. Anyway, while we continue down towards Twin Dams, let's head back to Kelly. I think she's got something on top of the tree.
We've just spotted this lovely African hawk eagle. We're close to Sydney's Dam, and I have seen a pair of them here before. I don't know where the other one of this pair is. And these eagles are game bird specialists, so they will specialize in hunting things like guinea fowl and francolin. So the scientific name for this bird is Aquilia spilogaster. Spilogaster actually means spotted stomach. And this bird is facing the incorrect way to show you this spotted stomach, but they do indeed have a very flecked chest and down their belly. Fantastic eyesight. All birds have got eyesight better than humans, full colour, and they can also see partially in the UV spectrum as well. So when we look at these starlings and things and we go, oh, isn't it pretty in the light? Other birds actually see much more impressive colours on the feathers of those. Beautifully coloured starlings. There was just some impalas ran through underneath here. There was a herd of them looking towards Sydney's Dam just now. I will keep an eye. Oh, this bird's turning around now. Maybe it will show us its spilogaster. Spotted stomach. I'm fairly sure that Some of our migrant species will have departed now. So our warburgs. I can't imagine they'll still be here, although we have still been seeing our kingfishers. So lesser spotted steppe eagles, although I've never seen it's been a long time since I've seen a steppe eagle. Lara, lots. Who do we get? Marshall, snake eagle, black-chested and brown. Who else do we see? We would see European honey buzzard, but they've gone. African harrier hawk, the old gymnogenes with those beautiful pink faces when they're in their breeding colours. We would see kites, depending on the time of year. Some of our smaller accipiters, so our gabbars. We get the occasional goshawk, African goshawk, all the way down through our little sparrowhawks, lots and lots and lots. There's lots of them we don't see, so there's some that are more common than others. We do see our warburgs, tawny eagles. There's lots and lots of different species of hawk, going all the way from our crowned eagle, which I think is actually the biggest we see in South Africa. Just a smidge bigger than the Marshall eagle. Stunning, stunning, all of them. I must admit the Marshall is one of my favourites. So those crowned eagles up to 85 centimetres. And I'm just going to check the slight difference in the Marshall. I had a lovely sighting of a Marshall eagle in a tree at night a while ago. 81 centimetres for the Marshall eagle. So lots of people do think the Marshall is the biggest we see here. So height-wise, but the Marshall is actually heavier. I'm going to continue around this area for a little bit longer. And in the meantime, I'm going to send you across to JP so he can say good morning to you all.
Good morning and welcome to Eco Training Pridelands. We're right on top of a little dolerite outcrop at the moment, and at the same time we're busy watching how the sun is fighting its way through the clouds. But I don't think the sun is going to win today, as we've got a big cold front that is now moving in, and it's brought a rapid change in terms of temperature. So my name is JP LaRue, and behind the camera we've got BK. So our plans for this morning is to stick around here for a little bit longer and then start seeing what's going to happen. And for the moment, I also would like to just give you the opportunity to enjoy the beauty of the surroundings, listen to all the sounds of nature, and just watch that beautiful frontal system that's moving in. For me, frontal systems bringing rain is always beautiful, especially at this time of the year, because we don't know when we might get our next rain again. As from now on, we are entering our dry season, and we only might actually have the start of our very next rains around by the end of October, beginning of November. And all of this plays part of a mini cycle within this ecosystem of having 6 months of high rainfall, followed by 6 months of low rainfall. And in this 6 months high rainfall period, we find that 80% of rain that we've experienced in this area is actually brought on by thunderstorms. The remainder of the 20% of rain that we experience, that's all cold front systems like this one that is being brought through now from the south and the east and moving into easterly direction. My apologies. also find that on the grander scale of things, we've also got cycles of 7 to 10 years of high rainfall within the savanna system, followed by cycles of 7 to 10 years of incredibly low rainfall at that point again. And it's under these drought conditions, which we often see a lot of animals dying actually from starvation as well as lack of water. Although it seems incredibly cruel to see these animals going, it all forms part of a natural selection process which enables the strongest individuals at the end of that cycle to breed again.
Welcome back. We're just looking around to see if we can find Semba. Maybe he did hoist his keel around here, but nah, it doesn't look like. No luck at the moment. We go towards Elephant Carcass. Maybe he's gone a little bit further north from that side, but I'm looking at all the trees. I don't see anything in the trees as well. I don't see much in this one here. I think what I might do, I might just shoot around towards Elephant Carcass, see if we can pick up on maybe in that side or anything. Maybe get maybe the drag marks somewhere that side for the dragging the warthogs from yesterday. Nothing down at Twin Dams. Twin Dams is very much quiet on that side of things. All right, let's really head towards Ellicocks. Quickly, I'm just going to go through a dip. Just not sure. Kelly. Just sitting on Ellicocks. I did go take a look if Temba was still around where he made the kill yesterday. I was really hoping that he was still got the kill, or he took it up into one of those big marulas around that side, but no luck on him there. I've got a feeling, I'm sure that warthog was not really that big, so I'm sure he might have finished it up during the night time. A lot of hyena tracks up and down here as well. Take a look, nothing here. Then I think what I'm going to do is, if he did finish off here, maybe he went towards Treehouse Dam as well. Just slowly looking in this area. There's a lot of nice smells coming from the bush itself. Got a real kind of wet vegetation smell. I love it, especially after the rain. It's got like a real nice clean smell. Come on, boy, where are you? I'm going to try and find him on the side. Maura, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. What is the smallest creature in the bush? Wow. Wow. Microorganisms. That's what I can think of. But we need a microscope. That's the smallest creature. Pretty much not visible to a naked eye. I think that must be the smallest creature. But then again as well, oh, that's a nice brown snake eagle. There's a beautiful brown snake eagle. Beautiful brown snake eagle up that side. I want to see if we can get a nice shot there. I want to see. Looks like that juvenile that hangs around here. Yeah, this has still got a bit of the whiteness on his. Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, well, look, it is a brown snake eagle, but it is an adult. Beautiful, really. It's a nice big head of the brown snake eagle. You can see those beautiful yellow eyes. Oh, they've got one of the most beautiful eyes out of most of the eagles that we do have around here. Of course, he's really mostly hunting around with snakes. Especially there's a lot of puff adders around at this time of the year, so they definitely really focus more on that kind of snake. So yeah, and it is, look, the puff adder is a very, very venomous snake, the cytotoxic. But these snake eagles really specialize on snakes, so they know exactly where to get them and not to get bitten. So they definitely got a talent for that, hence the name snake eagle. And last night we saw a nice Mozambique and spitting cobra as well. Jay, good morning. Welcome to our Sunrise Safari on Wild Earth. Thank you very much for the question. What else is on the snake eagle's diet? Well, you'll find that it'll also go for lizards and geckos and skinks as well. So, of course, look, primarily it is snakes. I mean, they do specialize on it, but if there's nothing around and there is a lizard or gecko or something like that, they would definitely look into feeding on that as well. So yeah, they can't be too specific, but yeah, they are very much specialists at the snakes itself. You know, the black-chested as well, snake eagle, but we don't really see much of it around here. Now and again you'll see them. That's a beautiful, real kind of white underpart, and halfway, midway up, it'll go pretty much brown ahead, or much more of a darker brown, more of like a dark chocolate brown. So yeah, we do get them around now and again, but it's very uncommon. Almost a lot of people get it mistaken with a martial eagle. Of course, martial way bigger, but if you actually see them flying, or if you have a quick glance at them, you actually think it's a martial eagle. But yeah, you always have to double check on that. Always just sitting always in these dead trees, perfect and ideal, just to really kind of have a nice vantage point, and that's a nice area for them just to kind of not to mess up their feathers or their wings too much. They do need them in top-notch condition when they do fly, and especially that they do have wide wings. Mike, good morning. Thank you for joining us. You say, how big do these snake eagles get? Snake eagles, or brown snake eagles, are around about maybe between 70 to 80 centimeters tall. So 70 to 80 centimeters tall. That is that's quite large. If you think about it, it looks small from here, but okay, well, he's gone now. But honestly, they're still quite a big thing. Quite big. But yeah, thanks, Mike, for the question. And yeah, good morning, and thanks for joining us here on Wild Earth. Well, let's carry on missioning towards Treehouse Dam. Anyway, while we're headed towards Treehouse Dam, let's head towards Kelly and see what's happening on her bumble.
Good plan, Cedric, good plan. I've come around to where our buffalo crossed out last night to see if there's any big kitty cat tracks following them, and there is not that I've seen. However, we don't know they came in the first place, so I was almost hoping to come around here and at least prove my theory, but I can't. So I think what I'm going to do is carry on along this... Oh, sorry. Oh, hold on. No, they've all gone now. Oh, no, they're still there. Sorry, Craig. See, this is what happens when you look at the floor. You miss other things. I think these are southern white-crowned shrikes. Yes, they are. Normally live in little family groups. These are actually cooperative breeders, so they will all help to take care of the little ones. All these birds are fluffed up this morning. Struggling to balance on that branch. They normally live in groups of 6 or 8 or so. I've seen a couple more just above me. So these are insect feeders, mostly eating invertebrates. They will gather in bigger groups as the winter seasons come in, so maybe that's what we're seeing here. Sandy, they will nest. They'll build a sort of circular little cup of grass, sometimes lined with grass and feathers. Normally on the outer branch of a tree or in the fork of a tree, they're tree nesters. And they like our, who are the other ones? Like the white crested helmet shrikes, they will also use spider webs to actually secure those nests in place, which is incredible. It's a very clever way of nature, but we know how sticky and how strong those spider webs are, so there are a few bird species that will actually use those spider webs. They will collect them. I know the southern, the white-crested helmet shrikes actually use a little like feathery bit on the top of their head. I would assume these guys would do the same. Very nice to see those southern white-crowned shrikes. Thank you, Craig. This is one of the problems when you spend your time leaning out, looking at the floor, you miss some of the other stuff. We're all multitasking to the max. It looks like a couple of these buffalo have come back the other way. It could be a couple of these old bulls that we see. Maybe they preferred it over in Djuma than on the other side there. Oh, There's definitely a chill in the air this morning. Still no sign of any lion tracks.
Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, I've got a beautiful, nice, tall female giraffe. Oh, there's a girl in New Zealand, Tiffany. This giraffe is for you. I know that you enjoyed giraffe so much when you were this side. And you can see that it is such a stunning, stunning animal. So elegant. Oh, she sees something that side. Of course, just chewing on the leaves, very much browsers. So they've got these long 27, 28 centimeter tongues that really stick up far. And of course, they wrap those tongues right around all the little branches and they strip all the leaves off. But those tongues, and even their mouth itself, it's like an old leather boot. It's very tough. So they go through some of these thorns and they don't feel anything. And that's although you'll find the tongues, a lot of people won't understand why the tongues are the purple color. Well, there's a lot of, or not many nerves that go in there. So they're very much of a lack of blood flow. So of course, when the thorns do go through the tongue or punctures the tongue, it's a lack of nerves. Of course, they do not feel any pain. So it's very much adapted to these areas, and especially the acacia trees. A couple of oxpeckers on her as well. Was enjoying and just feeding off all the little parasites. A good old cleaning service that's happening there. Little red-billed oxpeckers. You'll see there's of course an adult, two adults. They're just combing through that coat of hers, making sure that they pick up on any ticks or fleas. Oh, beautiful coloration of this female. So female giraffes get around about 4.5 meters. And males get to about 5.5. Adam, good morning. The little ones will get used to oxpeckers on them already right from a very young age. You're looking at maybe already about 2-3 months. And so, yeah, they're very much used to the oxpeckers. Very important for them. There is a little young one there. If you can take a look there, the young one is just through here with oxpeckers on it as well. Of course, you'll see the little young one there with a lot of very electric kind of hairs on top of its head, very still young, but there is oxpeckers on it. So, I mean, that's it just shows you. The young ones are very much used to it from the early age. Of course, this female really kind of broke. Look, they're not part of a herd, it's a structured herd. They are gregarious, so you'll find they really move from one herd to the next herd. And of course, sometimes you'll find if a female has a calf, she'll move away from the herd. I think she's now just gone behind there. I think maybe I must go a little bit forward, see if we can get another view. I think she's just gone there. Lovely animals. It's also my mom's favorite animal as well. My mom loves giraffe, so you'll find it. I'm just going to go a little bit forward. I think she's just going to move towards her calf. And in Afrikaans, we call it a kameelpad. And kameelpad means camel horse because it walks like a camel and it runs like a horse. So if you really look, okay, she's going to just come here. I think she's just going to give her a bit of space to come through here. Yeah, she's really just moving here. As you can see, also the youngster on the one side, I think the calf is just on the right-hand side of the road, and I think she just wants to get across. Of course, it's also the land mammal with the largest heart. You're looking at around about 11 to 12 kilogram heavy heart. And that heart can really beat quickly, about 160 beats per minute. So 160 beats per minute is to, of course, and that large heart is just to get that blood up to the brain. You can imagine being 4.5 meters tall, or 5.5. All right, let me just go a little bit forward here. I think she's just gone behind a couple of the guarri bushes here. I think let's take a look at the youngster here. Vivian, giraffe, I haven't heard giraffes vocalize. They don't really vocalize at all. Well, not that I've ever heard. I've also heard that stories that that's one of the animals that do not vocalize around. So, but as you can see, it's coming through that side now. But I heard them blowing sometimes. Sometimes maybe something's in their nose or a little bit of dust or something like that. You'll find that they actually kind of have a little bit of a snort and all that, just to kind of remove whatever's inside the nostrils. But when it comes to alarm calling and all that, it's more the posture and the ear pointing and really looking down if they do see predators or something like that. But it's more visual than anything else for them. And you can see the very, very fluffy horns on that young one. So of course so the youngsters, that's a female. You'll find the females, the horns are much thinner compared to males' horns. Males have really got thick horns, ossicles, and why so is, of course, more for necking. So if males do challenge each other, they'll actually kind of do a typical kind of a slow boxing match, where they'll throw their heads from one side to hit the other one's neck or body, on the side of the body. And it has happened before where they'll actually knock each other out. It is quite a force. Look at that hairstyle. Absolutely, really so cute. Really, really cool. I love that. Of course, the younger, especially when they're born and all that, it's that hair is like a real punk. It's all over the show. Looks like little wires sticking up from it. Leah, good morning. Is there a matriarch in the giraffe family? No. They move from one herd to the next herd. They don't have a set family structure at all. So there is no matriarchal system. If you look at like your elephants, they are family structured. You look at your hyenas, family structured. So that is more kind of have a matriarch, a leader of that herd or clan. But the giraffe is just pretty much they move from one herd to the next. So there is no set leader in the herds. Or we actually call it a journey of giraffe or a tower of giraffe. A journey, if they've got a lot of giraffes together and they're moving together, we'll call it a journey. And if they're all really much standing on open clearing, they'll call it a tower. Oh, look at that girl. You can just see how tall she is. A good 4.5 meters. A nice tall female. So yeah, you can actually just, and not youngest as well. You can see she's full grown. She's definitely an oldish girl. They get up to about 19, 20 years old, around about that. So yeah, this little oxpecker is really enjoying the feast on the side of her. Anyway, while we sit around here with this female and her calf, let's head back to JP and see what's happening on his bushwalk.
Good morning and welcome back to Eco Training Providence. For the moment it's quite windy and we would have loved to have done a walk this morning, but of a strong wind we were rather decided to stick to the vehicle as it's much safer. You do walk and the wind is so strong animals don't actually hear you. It's also the reason why we're actually going towards one of the open plains areas where animals are most likely going to be. because if it's windy, they prefer to be in the open because they will then rather rely on their senses of sight to detect potential threats. At the same time, we're also working a number of the major road systems within Pridelands, and we're looking for tracks of both elephants, giraffe, as well as buffalo, and any other large species such as the cats. I wonder where our lioness has gone from yesterday. I also wonder where the rest of the Ngati Pride has gone. It's quite special to see them all together 2 days ago because it's been many months since I've last seen the whole group together. And it was only for the breakaway group that we actually did see for quite a while. I'm just going to continue on our road and see what we can find in tracks as well as in animals. And in the meanwhile, Bika is just going to share the surrounding landscape with you. Good morning, Alan, and welcome to the show. If I have to recall, it was somewhere early last year that I saw them for the very first time. Good morning, James Richard, and welcome to the show. We'll definitely try our very best and see what we can find. In the meanwhile, let's go and see what the others are up to as we continue our search. More dogs.
Welcome back. Yes, I'm just coming up to Treehouse Dam. Let's see what's happening at Treehouse Dam. Let's see if we can maybe pick up on those little lapwings. There's little furballs around here. I think I see 1, 2. Oh, there's still 2. Oh, they're getting so big. Let's take a look closer there and get into it. Hello, little ones. Very cute. They're getting so big, and those legs are getting so long. Oh, they're sweet. I'm glad they're doing very well. These parents are absolutely amazing. I saw yesterday just a poor little Birchall starling came on the opposite side of the dam, came to rest next to the waterhole for a little bit of a drink. And this one lapwing, one of these adults got up and flew off and straight for that Birchall starling. The Birchall starling, before it even could put its beak to the water edge, this lapwing was already dive bombing it, and eventually the poor starling had to push off and could not even have a little drink. So yeah, these 2 adults are absolutely very territorial and very dominant over this waterhole at the moment. It's amazing they even allow the hippo to come into the dam. Standing by.
Yeah, morning. Sorry for bumping you there. I was on my way somewhere else. Didn't mean to disturb.
No, 100%, buddy.
Yeah, I'm crossing over Djuma. Enjoy.
check the doves going to try. Watch the doves. It's amazing they're not going for them. Yeah, welcome back this side again. We're still at Treehouse Dam. I think we're just trying to figure out where the other one is now. I think we'll just try and get Eckhart to see if we can get onto that little lapwing. There is two that is running around, still roaming around at Treehouse Dam. Absolutely getting really big. I love those little things. And so I was just saying now, it's amazing how territorial these adults are, because I saw yesterday a Birchall starling coming down to the edges, and in the next moment, of course, these lapwings decided to really go for those poor little Birchall starling. He just wanted to come down for a drink, and it's like, nope. And those lapwings went straight for that starling. And of course, the starling had to push off. They are beautiful. There's still two around here. I think the other one, I think they both went behind that little bush now. I can see still the one running around there. These adults have really done well. Oh, there you go. We also got our hippo here in the dam as well. You'll find still the big male hippo. He's definitely still enjoying this waterhole for himself. An ideal day for hippos. I think they don't have to really worry about too much sun and too much heat. I think especially it is a nice, fresh and cool day. I know it's cloudy, and this big male, he'll definitely just be relaxing around here today. Sometimes you'll find even in the afternoon, if you come around here, you'll find that these hippos will be lying out on the banks itself, because there's no really stress on too much sunlight and heat. Yeah, the other adult blacksmith lapwing behind us, but I can't see it too well. You got a small one there. Oh yeah, there it is. It's on the bank here, yeah. There it is, a little one. The second youngster. Close to the elephant tongue there. There he is. There he is. There. Matthew, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on our sunrise safari on Wild Earth. No, the hippos won't get too cold in the water. They've got a lot of a real thick, fatty layer under their skin itself, and just like whales as well, they've got a lot of fat, a lot of blubber underneath, and it actually really helps them with real cold water in winter days. I tell you, the winter days does get really cold around here, and sometimes when I look at hippos in the water on days like that, actually, it makes me feel cold. But yeah, no, they don't feel that cold at all. It's just that they just enjoy, because the thing is, sometimes just lying on the outskirts, enjoying a little bit of, in winter time, a little bit of sunshine, which is not too strong like our summer sun. So it doesn't really affect them too much. But of course, those are still lying next to the water, because they find the water, that's pretty much their territory, it's their safety net, so they won't go too far from that water during the daytime.
Yeah, I got to this meeting, got up and walked away, so it's not active anymore.
All right, copy that, thank you. Natalie, good morning. Yes, bird behavior does definitely sometimes change. You'll find especially if the wind starts coming through and pushing that rain towards us, the birds, they don't want to go and struggle in the wind, and also they don't want to go and get all soaked up and all that in the rain. So you'll find they tend to kind of stay more in your covers and your trees and the bushes where they usually rest. Look, your lapwings and all that, that's really around your water areas and that. I mean, they don't really fly. They do fly, of course, but they don't. It's not like other birds that's flying from tree to tree to tree or bush to bush to bush. Your lapwings and your thickneys, they really hang around the water areas all the time, unless they have to fly and chase something off, which is a very short stint or interval. So yeah, the birds that really needs those wings and all that, like your eagles, your vultures, those kind of things, they'll tend to rather roost somewhere and not move too much. Yes, of course, if something does disturb them or they feel threatened or something like that, of course they are going to move. I mean, it is safe to, it is, I can say, natural selection. If you're not going to move and you want to get killed, well, sorry for you. But yeah, that's, water doesn't affect too much, or rain. Of course, rain is not rain. If it does come through, that you kind of become less active. But while we sit here at Treehouse Dam, let's head back to JP. I think he's on some tracks. Let's see what tracks he's looking for.
Good morning and welcome to Eco Training Pridelands. We're busy looking at the track of a baboon. And if you would like to come and join us in a tracking course with Eco Training, there's 4 fundamentals of tracking which we are going to teach you. The very first thing that we're going to teach you is to get the direction of a track right. The second is also to get the light right, as that you would like to get the track between yourself and the sun. And in that way, you'll be able to study the track more effectively and see all the details which is needed to be studied. The fourth thing that we will teach you is to step back and look at the big picture of what is going on around you. And all of these will really help you to find the track that you are looking at. A few of the things is we automatically as humans are very well adapted to actually identifying shapes, and we also very quickly start actually through a process of eliminating the different shapes from one another and categorizing tracks according to specific groups. Those main groups that we can think of is plantigrade foot structures, where the animal will walk on its whole foot, then digit-grade foot structures like cats and dogs, and then the group after that, which is known as the ungulate groups, which is hooved animals. But when it does come to baboons, they fall into that plantigrade foot structure group, where they walk on the whole foot. It's a very primitive foot structure, just like ours, and unlike that of digit-grade, it's not designed for silent walking or stalking, or in the case of the antelopes, for fast running. However, baboons are pretty fast, and they're very fast to get into trees when there's also potential threats. So this over here is the foot that we can see over here, and there we can see the opposable thumb, which is marking over here. And then right over here, this is those big nails, which we mentioned quite a few times, which they use as defensive weapons. When it does come to separating the different species of primates, we have both vervet monkey over here, as well as we have the baboon, and then the 2 species of bush baby, which also occurs in this area. However, bush baby tracks are quite tiny, and I'll show you a picture of them in a moment. But when we do look at the vervet monkey tracks, they're slightly smaller, roughly about 10 centimeters in size. And a really big baboon has got the potential of showing a 15 centimeter hindfoot. So when it does come to baboons, and we do look at their front part of their hand, we'll see that there's a B marking that forms over here, which makes it fairly easy to actually identify and separate it from monkeys. When it does come to the monkeys, this is our 2 species of monkey we have in South Africa. The Simango is a forest specialist, so it's unlikely that we're going to get it here. But some 20 kilometers from here, we'll actually find them right against the mountain. But when we do look at the right hand of the vervet monkey, you'll notice that it makes a sharp pointed edge over there, and that V over there is then for vervet monkey. So remember always, back part of a pad makes a V in vervet monkey, and the back pad of the right hand, of the hand of a baboon makes a B indentation. And as we mentioned earlier, we always also want to take in consideration the big picture of things. And as I step back, we looked right over here, we also found very fresh baboon droppings. And what I can see over here is the seeds of one of the raisin bushes which it's been feeding on. Almost looks like if it's been eating on a lot of muesli. And what you'll notice is that these little seeds are fairly round and they've got a hard outer layer on them. And the process of actually going through the baboon or a warthog or a species that does eat fruit's stomach actually assists in breaking down that hard outer layer that we find over there on the seed, and then it also assists with the germination process. And then right over here, we've also got some other droppings, which is not related to the baboon, but these are belonging to a scrub hare. They're very fine droppings, very light in color. And we find that when it does come to scrub hares and rabbits, that they actually make two types of dung. And this, what we see over here, is known as night feces, which has just simply been discarded once it's been consumed. And this has been eaten a second time. So the previous feces, the other type of feces which we get is day feces, and the day feces is what's re-eaten. And the reason why they re-eat their own dung is to actually get a hold of nutrients and minerals, which wasn't ingested in the first time, but also then to maximize the ingestion of nutrients, obviously, in the process. And that pretty much wraps up everything that we can find over here. Good morning, Andy, and welcome to the show. And if you start focusing on field science and tracks, it's amazing what you can learn, because there's so much that all these little tracks and field science can tell you, but it also helps you to guide you into the direction of where you can find that animal. And just simply by looking at the tracks, we can see all these tracks has been moving down this road as this group of baboon has been walking over here. And I can follow the track from here, and then it goes down all the way over here, which means they've been out on their way to go and forage for the day. We also do know that they roost quite close by to here, and in the early mornings you'll normally start seeing them in the trees where they're roosting, a lot of raucous that they make, and then from there they will start organizing themselves and move out. But while we are watching all our tracks and field signs, let's go and see what Kelly is up to.
Thank you, JP. Good luck with that. It is indeed breezy up here at Buffelshoek Dam. We have a piece of hippo back just popping out of the water. I haven't seen a baby nose yet, and I'm not even going to attempt to determine if this is a male or female hippo from this view. I would normally only confirm a female if there's a calf in here as well. There was no sign of any lion tracks in or out along Buffelshoek cut line, so I've decided to drop down to the dam. This is a good morning for, as I said, predators to maybe be moving, so there are worse places to sit than at a water point. I've been having, oh hello! Good morning to you. And look how that design of that nose, eyes, ears, all level with the waterline. I've been having a flick through my super cool insect book this morning, and just one of the fun things I've found, some assassin bugs create a substance that actually attracts ants, which basically intoxicates them and disables them so they can eat them slowly. Insect world is insane. Lowly, is it uncommon to find hippo tracks on land? No, I've just driven past some. These hippos do relocate on a regular basis. I think there's lots of this going on at the moment. The hippos here are trying to decide where's going to be the best place to settle as the dams start to drop. and we quite often see hippo tracks on land, especially on the pathways that they will use to go out at night to graze, to feed. They've got 4 toes, so it can be easy to mistake hippo tracks for rhino tracks, because rhino tracks have 3 toes. But you can clearly see there's 2 out on hippo tracks. I might even show you hippo tracks. Let me dig out my amazing track book, and I will find you a hippo track to show you what we look for when we see these tracks on land. Let's try and find you one. So this is what we look for if we're looking for hippo tracks on land. This bottom one here is our hippo track. This is vastly reduced in size. I mean, a hippo track is probably going to be closer to the size of this entire book, if I'm honest, an adult hippo track. But very clear 4 toes. And they often make paths, trails through grass. You can see a hippo trail clearly. And above that is the square-lipped or white rhino track. And above that is the hook-lipped or black rhino track. So we do quite often see hippo tracks on land while they're moving between water points. I can hear magpie shrikes calling behind me, so let's just sit and listen to the wind blowing through the grass here at Buffels Hook Dam, and maybe our hippo will give us a yawn. Back under the water. I think let's carry on across the dam wall here, and there's a spot I would like to visit just now. If anyone has been following the story, the exciting story of Cammy the frog, who has been sitting or had been sitting in the same place for 8 days. I haven't been for a day or so, a little bit more. So I'm going to go and see if our frog is still there. So if anyone is wondering, her common spikethorn. So we're leaving the dam now and I'm taking Nyala Road north. I've got a feeling I don't know if it's a she. I've got a feeling this frog is going to be gone. We've had a couple of cooler days. Tension, Craig, tension. So this is Cammie's tree here on the left. I can't see any frog present. And it would appear Cammie has gone. Ha. I'm actually quite sad. This was Cammie's tree, and as I anticipated, I promise I hadn't looked already. Although let's just have a good check that this frog isn't blended in further down with this lichen. Let's check nicely with binoculars. If anyone's going to spot this frog again, Gert found it the first time, and if anyone else is likely to spot it again, it's probably Craig. But after a good check with his binoculars, Cammie has left the building. I'm quite sad. I'm sure it was with that cooler weather. She's taken the opportunity to relocate, maybe closer to the dam. But how crazy was that? 8 days. At least this frog stayed in the same place, and what a lot we have learnt about southern foam nest frogs while we've been watching her. Thanks for the memories, Cammie. Richard, how does Cammie not get dehydrated? I've asked myself that question many times over the last 10 days or so. I can't explain it. It's nature. It's the magic of nature. I'm sure I could probably find some papers on the lack of dehydration methods of amphibians involving chemical exchanges or thermoregulation. But to me, logically, from a simple perspective, I've got no idea. It's a tiny little amphibian, needs water to survive, yet there it sat for 8 days in 35 degrees a lot of the time and did not desiccate to a crisp, which is what I find so amazing. Richard, didn't dehydrate because nature is incredible, would be my answer to that. Absolutely unreal. Alrighty, I think I am going to continue on down Nyala Road north for a little while. This wind is dropping a little bit. Thus ends the story of Cammie. Ha! How fascinating. I learned so much about frogs and their colour change techniques and thermoregulation and taxonomy and everything else while we've been watching her. What a pleasure to be a part of her tree story. Her, I don't know. I think I'm just going to accept it was a her because I've only managed to call it a her. But I have nothing to substantiate this information. My feet are actually cold this morning. Kathy Lee, the smallest and the largest egg. The smallest egg would probably be from one of the butterflies. I can possibly actually... Oh, there's some dwarf mongoose up there. Oh, they're going to disappear around the corner. Oh, they're running around nicely with those hornbills this morning. Little dwarf mongoose. Kathy Lee, the largest egg would be an ostrich egg. And the smallest egg would probably be one of the wasp eggs or something. One of those tiny little fruit flies. Fruit flies, I don't even know, do fruit flies lay eggs? One of the smaller insect eggs. The ostrich egg would definitely be the largest. Those little dwarf mongoose are scurrying around up in front here. I'm sure they're looking for insects this morning. I'm sure there's going to be lots of insect activity with this cool weather, and you see these hornbills are with them. This is a known relationship that these dwarf mongoose have with these hornbills. Often find them together. Sometimes if I've never seen it, but lots of people have, if the mongoose don't get up on time, the hornbills will loiter. Oh, hello. The hornbills will loiter around their termite mound or their little burrow that they're living in and wait for them to get up. Okay, they've gone into this grass here, but I'm just going to sit quietly and let's see if they come out. I can hear them in the grass all around me. I'm going to watch and see if these little family of mongoose settle. And in the meantime, I'm going to send you across to JP.
Good morning and welcome back to Eco Training Pridelands on this gloomy, cold, windy day. I thought we'll add some colour into your day as there was a request for some flowers. And the flowers that we are looking at over here is one of the species of senna. And if you're probably familiar with medicine called senna-cot, which is one of the laxatives. And quite often we do find that this is also even used as a laxative, although it's not precisely the same species of senna that they would use. It belongs to the pea family member, and what we do find with pea family members is that they actually have the ability to establish themselves in very pure nutrient soils, as that they've got a special bacteria that lives in their root nodules, which can actually extract nitrogen from the atmosphere. And that indirectly enriches the soil. Same principle as when you have a field that you have used for several years for crops and you now rested, you plant pea crops on it to enrich the soil. Right over here we've also got a small little bouquet of flowers which we are going to deconstruct. That was our senna that we already discussed. The very next one which I'm going to bring out here, this one over here is a wild foxglove. Beautiful little flower. And quite often wild foxglove is incorrectly referred to as Digitalis purpura, which it's not. Digitalis purpura is a species which we get in Europe. It's also highly toxic and it's often been used for poisoning people and a host of other things. In this case, our wild foxglove also has some medicinal purposes and they're often used for the treatment of painful menstrual cramps, but you can also boil the leaves and cook it as a spinach. And when you crush it in your fingers, I'm not going to do this to BK because BK hates peanut butter. It smells precisely like peanut butter, and I love peanut butter. And then right over here, we've got a little grass seed. This one is known as a spear grass. And when we do start pulling out these little seeds over here, if it's enough moisture in the air, and we wet these when they're dry enough, they'll actually start spiraling into the ground and drive themselves in, and in that way they will establish themselves. Then this one that we have over here, this little white flower over here, this is a species of Heliotrophium, also known commonly as a string of stars. And what's quite unique about this little flower is that it actually will turn its head into the direction of where the sun is coming from, hence the name Heliotrophium. Helios meaning sun, and trophium to turn. And the next one we have over here, this one is one of the tumbleweeds, and it makes this beautiful tiny little white flowers. The only purpose or function I know that they use this for is actually by drying them and then burning them and taking the ash and rubbing it onto a person that has lost a family member to help with the going through a process of grief. There's a beautiful little grass over here again. This one is known as a Natal redtop, which is one of my favorites as well, especially when you get big fields full of this, and especially if you have a late afternoon or early morning sun and the sun reflects off in fluorescence. It's absolutely stunning. And then right over here, we've got one with which is referred to as a blackjack or kakibos in Afrikaans. And they've got these little sharp edges which get stuck onto the coats of animals, socks and humans, and that's how they easily distribute themselves. In their case, you can also boil the leaves as a alternative to spinach. When it does come to the species, it was introduced in the 1890s during the Anglo-Boer War, and that was hence the name why it was called kakibos. And the original reason why it was introduced in South Africa by accident was with horse fodder, and that's how it made its way into South Africa. And then right over here, I love these. This is one of the solanums, and this is referred to as a poison apple, and they're members of the potato or tomato family. And if you have a look over there, they all have very similar flowers when it does come to this family. And one of the things that we can use this for is the fruit specifically, which you can cut open and then you can place it onto an area which has been affected. If you have, for example, ringworm, which is actually a bacterial growth on the skin. So that pretty much wraps up our whole bouquet that we've now deconstructed. We're going to continue moving on and go and see what else we can go and find. Good morning, Oriella, and welcome to the show. Yes, most of the things out here does have some form of a use, and sometimes it's more of a placebo, and in other times those things have real medicinal values, but you also have to sometimes weigh up the side effects of what those plants can have. And quite often when I used to go and visit a doctor's friend of mine, he used to tell me that he actually has a lot of patients which he has to treat on a dialysis machines specifically for damage that's been created to their kidneys because of toxins that has been ingested from plants.
Welcome back, everybody. I've just got a beautiful Swayson's Franklin or Swayson's Spurfowl on the road. Just on the left, at one with a beautiful red face. Let's take a look. I think the others just disappeared into the grass. Many times you'll find them actually just really enjoying the roads. Of course, all the seeds have been dropped off there when you drive past there. Welcome back, everybody. I'm still just had a couple of Swayson's Spurfowls, but they just decided to run into the bush. I think they were a little bit camera shy. Where are you now? Hello, where are you? It's amazing how quick this. Even the grass, the grass has really turned very quickly to that brown color. It's amazing how the vegetation changes color here in our seasons. It's a matter. It's really sporadic. It's like just boom. Same as summertime. In winter, it's of course everything. No grass, no leaves on the trees until that first bit of rain comes in September, October. There's a little bit of a injection of water, and all of a sudden it's really lush. Little leaves and everything starts growing through, and the grass becomes nice and green. Just taking a look, I had a lot of hyena tracks on Cheetah Cut Line now running into this direction, but like running, not normal walking. Definitely running into this area, yeah. So I'm just trying to search the area for any more other tracks of these hyenas, and why did they all bolt to the side. There's kind of nice big trees around here as well, so I'm just looking carefully, see what we can see. It is getting a little bit warmer now. The sun has decided to pop its head up from behind the clouds once or twice now. So it is starting to heat up a little bit more. I think now I'm starting to think that I'm a little bit mad putting this big black jacket on. I think I should just I'll just melt away in this jacket. I think I'll definitely have to take it off very soon. Yeah, sorry, I just want to take a look here. It just looks like I had a lot of tracks here. So I did not get the name. What's the name? I don't know the name. Sorry, FC, go with the name again, please. Strawn. Good morning. Welcome to our sunrise safari. Do I have a favorite animal to track? Yes, definitely. I love tracking leopard. Sorry, Paul. Sorry, Paul. That's it. Okay, I've got the name now. So a little bit of comms issues there. Paul, definitely I love tracking leopards. Like exactly talking about it now. I think, just want to show you, yeah, I've actually got a nice specimen of a leopard track. Hopefully Agard can pick up on this track, yeah?
4.
All right. But not really fresh, as you can see. Can you get this one, Agard? Not. All right, let me quickly reverse a little bit here. Let's see if we can pick it up on this side. This is actually a nice specimen because sometimes it's nice when you've got the mud. Can you see it there now? Yeah. All right. Of course, a beautiful leopard track here, but it is very hard. So this track came up after rains, and when it was still nice and soft and muddy. Looks like a female leopard came past here. Nice. It's actually quite hard. It's nice. You can actually make a nice little cast from it. You know, if you can put a cast in it and make a leopard track from it. But this was a female. We were in Tlalamba's area, so 10 to 1 most probably it is Tlalamba that came through from this side. I just want to double check here. Yeah, Yeah, see, there's just some hyena tracks coming through. And it looks like these hyena tracks are definitely also from old hyena tracks. Much larger, not as pretty as a leopard track. The leopard track has got that real pretty kind of a 90-degree angle. Hyena tracks are really kind of more scruffed up. And of course, you also got your, what you call it, your nail marks of the hyena itself. But I'm just taking a look here. Sorry, I think my radio's just gone a little bit crazy there. There you go. I just want to see something here. Because this is, I think there's little cub tracks as well, yeah. So this is definitely where Kalamba came with the cubs in this area. But it's maybe about 5, actually longer, maybe about a week old. As I said, it is really quite hard as it is. All right, anyway, I'm just double checking this here. Nothing much more. All right, let's jump on. Let's head further this way. I just want to still figure out why these hyenas were running into this direction. I don't want to quickly get this in here. There we go. All right. Let's see. All these mud wellers are all nice and dry now. There's a little bit of that breeze coming through, eh? Yeah, well, we're trying to follow up on these, I think the hyena tracks going this way. Hyena tracks and where they're heading to. Let's head to Kelly. Well, she's got some creepy crawlies that she wants to show you.
We have just found this beautiful garden orb-web spider. Not actually part of the golden orb-web spiders, despite what it may look like. This wind's picked up now, but look at this image of her creating this. It's basically a stabilizer on her web here. And since I last saw one of these, I've been trying to think why she would sit with these legs segmented like this, and I think it would probably be to certainly when it's windy, less wind resistance, and to make her less visible. I would assume things would see 8 legs more easily and it would look more spider-like than if it was just clumped together there. So together formation. So we're not going to be seeing these beautiful spiders for too much longer now. Look at the colours in this gorgeous girl. Sorry if anyone is a bit of an arachnophobe, but just take a second, if you can, to appreciate how delicate this beautiful spider is. Nancy, an absolute work of art indeed. It's so nice to spend time looking at some of the smaller things out here. I was actually just reading my fabulous book. I'm not going to reel off the whole thing to you. But I was just reading a section about what would happen if in one foul swoop insects vanished and how quickly it would have a massive impact on everything, from plants to soil to mammals, because of course this spider is very much dependent on insects as a food source, and the knock-on effect would be absolutely immense. I think the two things that interest me most in the bush, one is ethology, so that's the behavior of animals. I'm actually working at the moment learning about the behavioral side of companion animals. I'm only one assignment into a diploma, which is absolutely fascinating, but it also, there are links, because obviously domestic cats, domestic dogs are linked to our wild dogs and our big predator species out here, and how that translates. And the second thing is the interactions between all the stuff here. So from plants linked to insects, from insects linked to herbivores, from grasses linked to soil types. the common ones we know about, or we often speak about. You've got your fig wasps and your fig trees, then your relationships like your oxpeckers and your mammals, but there's so many lesser known relationships here in ecology, and we will never stop discovering new things, which is what I keep saying is what keeps me coming back, keeps me learning, keeps me involved, and keeps me excited. We see new behaviours, we understand new interactions every day. Wesley, I would assume yes, although most of these spiders, these and the other Nephilias, the golden orbweb spiders, are quite brightly coloured, which often indicates a toxicity level. And I've never seen anything eating a garden or a golden orbweb spider. I would assume yes, but they do, Wesley, you're right, they do hang around on webs quite conspicuously. So maybe there is all spiders are venomous, but maybe these also have a toxicity level in them that deters things from eating them. I've never, I'm going to say, I would guess yes, but I have never seen something eating one. Have you ever seen something feeding on a orbweb spider, Craig? No, I haven't either. So logic would say yes, but I haven't seen it. So I'm neither going to confirm nor deny, Wesley. I have seen things eating baboon spiders. I once sat underneath what was it? It was a woodlands kingfisher. And I went, oh, look, it's got something. And I sort of rolled forward and I looked up and this woodlands kingfisher was banging the legs off a very large baboon spider, which is basically a tarantula. And then I suddenly thought, oh, actually, maybe I don't want to sit right under here. I don't really want this landing on my head. And it gradually bashed all the legs off this spider. And then I've also seen birds swallow large spiders without bashing the legs off them. Blech. But when I see creations and webs and spiders like this, it just makes me in awe of nature. Ray, they're not your favourite. That's okay. They don't need to be your favourite. Lots of people, I must admit, my dad is a horrendous arachnophobe. Sorry, Dad, if you're listening, but like absolutely petrified. I don't want them on my face, particularly, or my arms. So they're not the favourite of lots of people. But as long as we can appreciate them for their beauty, for what they are, as long as we don't hurt them, try our best not to destroy their webs or their homes, then I think that's good enough. My friend Liam, who was here a while ago, actually helped me get used to spiders a little bit, because they do sometimes end up on us or guests, or, you know, and I needed to be at a level of being able to remove it from someone. So they're not my favourite either, but I would never, ever hurt one. I'm now going to send you over to spend some time with a gentle giant.
Yes, welcome back. I've got a nice, beautiful herd of elephants, a breeding herd of elephants just feeding around a termite mound. So there's one or two little calves that's part of this breeding herd. Oh, absolutely amazing. I just love these elephants. Absolutely adore them. Sit here and actually watch them all the whole day. But you can see how they're using the trunk I'm trying to wrap and then swirl it around and try and grab a nice grass around this termite mound. And why on the termite mound as well, specifically on the termite mound? Because the termite mound, of course, the soil is so much richer. Hello, Bill. Don't worry. Don't worry. We are just watching you and your family. All right, I'm just going to go. Oh, let's wait for this one, yeah. Because much richer in minerals and nutrients, the soils, of course, the grass and the trees that grow on this termite mound is much sweeter. You can find a lot of animals really feed, a lot of the herbivores really feed on these mounds. You see how it shakes. I'm shaking anything that's left on the grass, sand, or if there's insects or anything that they don't want to eat, they actually, of course, shake the grass. You'll see they shake it quickly, one will shake and then pop it in. You'll find, of course, there are eating machines. You're looking around about maybe 20 to 22 hours a day they'll be feeding. And the rest, of course, going for a drink or short intervals, little naps. There you go. Still a young female, this, of course, we're looking at. Not really that old. I think maybe 14, 15, 16 there. Okay, they're moving a little bit in that side. Let's see if we can get around to the little herd. Let's see. I want to see if we can get around this side. And there's a couple of nice little calves. It's Maureen, good morning. Now, they don't feed the entire day, maybe about 20 hours of the day, like 80% of the day. The rest of the time, the elephants, they'll go drink or they have very short intervals sleeping. That depends on the matriarch. She'll decide when they will sleep. But it's very short intervals, and then all of them will just take a rest. I just want to try and get in here so you can just take a look at this little calf that's with mom and them. Very small herd. Let's see. Hello. Okay, there's a little one there. Maybe not about 1 year and a half. Once the little calf touches mom's belly already, that's already past a year. Under mom's belly, if it goes under mom's belly without touching that belly, then it's about a year and less. But you can see that one's a little, but he is just walking. So yeah, they get about about plus minus 60 years old. A little one following mom. I love it. I love those little calves. A little bit further in. I want to try and get a nice front shot from there. Hey God, let's go around that side. Let's see if I can get a nice front shot there. It looks a bit open that side. Let's see what we can do. Bumpity bump. Yeah, I think we've got a nice little gap here. Nice little gap. Very small herd, a very small family herd. I mean, I can only see 3 or 4, 5 of them. So that's not really a big family herd this side. Sometimes they can get to really big groups, but maybe I might be missing the rest somewhere in the bush. I'm just going to see, get 3. Yeah. I don't want to see that little one. So cute. Okay, let's see if we can get over this. Let's see exactly where. Oh, there they are. Okay. Okay, just hold on. Am I going to make it through? Yeah. Am I going to make it through? Yeah, I don't think so, no. I don't think I'll make it through there. What do you think? I can go right there. Okay, I'm going to go to this dead tree. I think that'll be the best. Just watch it. I'll say. They really want to go into this thick stuff. Don't go there. All right, there we go. Perfecto, found the gap. Of course, a nice day for the elephants. Not too hot for them as well, so you'll find them not going to be too stressed to get down to water areas. But the matriarch is really moving quite a bit with them, yeah. Yeah, see, she's going further in that side. I think she might be heading towards Nyala South. I'm not. Oh, I can't get in. Victor, good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for the question. Yeah, actually, the closest relative to an elephant is a rock dussie, if you believe it or not. You'll find a rock dussie, the hyrax. The mammalia is also between the front legs, just like the elephants. And as well, that's also pretty much almost near ungulates as well. So very much your rock dussie is one of the closest relatives to an elephant. Now I'm not going to get through here. Nah, I'm not going to get through here. Sorry. So yeah, that's very much one of the closest sites for, if you guys know, a rock dussie, it almost looks like a huge rodent. And really living on the rocky areas, hence the name rock dussies. Okay, let me just put in four-wheel here, just now I get stuck. So I'm trying to get through here, sorry guys, I just want to get through here quickly, just to make sure I'm not going to hit a hole or anything. Because there's a nice clearing, I think there's a nice wallow that I might be heading to here. Let's see if I can get a nice shot of them there. Oh yeah, there they are. Okay. There we go. Into the clearing. I think they're just this side. I got them. I just don't want to fall in a hole here. Such a big animal and they can disappear just like that, huh? It's amazing. Oh, you got them then? Oh yeah, there they are. Okay. I think there's a little two-track we can get around. We're just going to try and see if we can relocate here on them. There is a nice little one there with them. So I'm just keeping, just staying a little bit far west from them. Oh yeah, there, now we got them nicely here. Whoop, whoop. Let's see if we can get in here. Hello, Ellies. Really making me work for these ones, yeah, eh? Okay, there we go. There we go.
I'm heading down Nyala Road south. This is actually a beautiful road right along this drainage line. Also a couple of pans. Let's check and see if these pans have still got water in. There is some still here. Oh, they're drying up quickly though. Soon there's going to be nothing in this pan. Although we have got rain forecast for a couple of days, I don't think it's going to be enough to fill the pans. Ooh, that sun's gone in. I think I'm going to put my fleecy back on. Winter is indeed around the corner.
We're still sitting with a small breeding herd of elephants. Once again, it looks like the rest of the young calf has just gone a little bit more in front there. I think they kind of went into thicker stuff. So I'm not going to go too far much further from here. And it gets really hairy inside there. So I'm just going to sit with this one while this one is very much feeding on a beautiful knobthorn tree. Of course, just shaking all the stuff off and really making sure it's nice and clean to feed on. But they have to eat quite a bit. They have to eat around about 5% of their body weight. You'll look at around about, for a big male, 6 tons. That's about 250, 300 kgs of vegetation per day. Also can't be too selective. They're very good. Problem is only about 30% gets utilized by their digestive system. The rest, 70%, gets really passed through. And so yeah, eating 5% of their body weight is very important. But as well as they're not too selective over things. So you'll find elephants feeding on grasses, leaves, roots, bulbs, flowers, pods, loads of different kinds of vegetation types. But yeah, no, I'm not going to follow there. As you can see, it is quite thick inside there. I'm not going to really try and bash through all those things. But yeah, at least we've got a little bit of a view of a nice little breeding herd of elephants that came through here now. Andrew, how much weight? How heavy is an elephant calf at birth? It's about 35 kilograms. It's very light. Compared to a big giraffe calf is around about 140 kilograms. Elephant's about maybe 30, 35 kgs. Very small, very small. So it just shows you. And 22 months gestation period as well. So we're very much the longest gestation period for any land mammal in the world. So that is quite a long period of time. But yeah, very, very small. But anyway, they've moved into very thick areas and all that. But yeah, thank you, Andrew, for your question. Thank you for joining us on our sunrise safari. Now we need to try and get out of here somehow. See how, get out there. There we go. Boom. Oof, almost hit that stump. But awesome. I love spending time with elephants. Always nice, especially if it's more in the open or if it's close to the dam areas and all that. But talking about the dams, let's head to JP in Pridelands, see what's happening at his watering hole.
Welcome back to Eco Training Pridelands. At the moment it's incredibly windy, but we've also started experiencing a little bit of drizzle, so therefore we went a little bit closer to camp and we positioned ourselves at one of the dams, so it is not too far if we have to take our equipment in. Now we were just waiting for some animals to approach, or some birds to come and have a drink. But in the meanwhile, if there's any of you that have any questions that you would like to ask us to help us out while the weather is turning against us, they are more than welcome. We do have some Egyptian geese on the opposite side of the bank, of the dam. For those of you that are not familiar with the species is also one of those species which is often illustrated in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. And quite often they were also embalmed and then placed inside tombs, and that they were then left as food for the pharaoh or the person of high rank to hunt in the afterlife. One of the things that you do find is with a lot of animals and birds which were embalmed and placed inside those tombs is that they actually have tiny food particles which was put inside their mouth, which was there for them as sustenance into the afterlife. For many years, the Egyptian geese was actually extinct. However, I was recently told that there's actually a program where they in Egypt where they've now recently started reintroducing them again. Some of the other animals and birds that we also find that used to occur in that area, which was also entombed, was many different species of jackals, cats, as well as foxes. And then baboons were one of the other species which were also entombed. And then sacred ibis, which is another species which was often found inside those tombs. Good afternoon, morning Mimi, welcome to the show. There's a number of other duck species which we do find that come in, and they're mostly comb duck, also known as a knobbled duck, and then occasionally we have a teal that comes into the area, but there's not a great diversity of ducks. And when it does come to the Egyptian geese, it's actually a duck, however it's referred to as a goose. But when the early settlers arrived in this area, because of the sheer size of it, that was automatically just called the Egyptian geese, although technically it's a duck. And when we do separate ducks from geese, we actually look at amount of neck vertebra. And it seems of geese has got a slightly more number of neck vertebra compared to ducks. And when it does come to Africa, south of the Sahara, there's actually only one species of geese. And that's found in Ethiopia, as far as I know. Good morning, Ali, and welcome to the show. When it comes to the eggs, I've seen that the eggs have been taken by water monitors as well as rock monitors. And we also have found that even the harrier hawk has taken the eggs out of the nest as well. I mean, harrier hawk also will go for the chicks. We also have seen over the years that baboons and a host of other species will go for the chicks. At this very same dam, I also had a peregrine falcon which took one of the chicks several months ago. And when it comes to adults, we find that the adults are often taken by a wide range of different predators, which will also include species such as martial eagle, leopard, and anything that can potentially catch them.
We've got a beautiful little grey accipiter here. Please feel free to give me your input as to what it is. I'm going to have a good look with my binoculars and we will check together now. It's too small to be a gabar, I think. It doesn't have... Oh, does it? Is it a shikra? Let's check the shikras. I thought shikras had a redder or brighter eye than this, but I could be wrong. Please feel free to send in your answers. Or is it a gabar? Orange legs. No, it's too small to be a gabar. Are you a shikra? Could be a shikra. Bright red eye. Is this a bright red eye? It's not a lizard buzzard because it hasn't got its beard. This might be a shikra. Very, very yellow legs. Yellow beak. Strong barring on the front there, but that eye doesn't... Might be a shikra. haven't got that rufous of a little sparrowhawk. Oh, these accipiters, I struggle. For now, I'm going to go shikra. So small, they're little birds, 29 centimetres, these shikras. I think this is a shikra. With the light on it, I can't see the eye colour nicely. Kathy Lee, I like your style. Indeed a handsome fellow. I get incredibly caught up in knowing everything about everything here, but the fact that this bird is a handsome fellow is 100% correct, no doubt. I'm trying to dig for my book now. It's the yellow legs that are very striking. Yellow beak. I think there is a red eye in there. This light just isn't doing it justice. So nice to see these smaller raptors here. Often feeding on lizards, sometimes even insects, rodents. Most of these raptors have got quite diverse menus. And I'm sure we're going to start seeing more of these smaller raptors now. The leaves are going to start coming off the trees. We're going to have better visibility of these guys. When I'm birding, I try and work out what it's not first and work my way backwards. So, you're not a lizard buzzard, you're not a pygmy falcon. You're not a sparrowhawk. Are you a gabber? Maybe it's... Annabelle, an eastern red-footed kestrel. I have never even heard of that bird, but let's happily check the kestrels. Grey kestrel, Dickinson's kestrel, kestrel. Eastern red... Oh, an amur. Okay, that's not a bad shout. Let's have an amur falcon. They're called, amur falcon, so eastern red-footed falcon. Let's check. Oh, I do like this team birding. Amur. It's not a bad shout, but they've got quite orange legs, and this looks quite yellow to me. I'm sticking with shikra until I get any advances. But I'm going to carry on looking here, and I'm going to spend a little bit longer trying to confirm. I'm still sticking with... No, I'm sticking with shikra, little banded goshawk. Those legs are too yellow to be a gabar. Gabars can get a bit bigger, but what I always use for gabars is that very banded tail. And this has got a few bands, but not too many. I think I'm gonna stick with a shikra. Very nice. Okay, let's carry on. Beautiful little raptor. Just see if I can't see its eye from here. Oh, you're gonna leave. Okay, no, I'm sticking with shikra. Cool spider web on the right there. That little bird disappeared and I'm sticking with shikra. I think those yellow legs were a giveaway for me. I think, but I'm always open to discussions. We get very hung up on what everything is here. And I know I get very frustrated when I don't know the answers to all the questions. Oh, lovely. It sounds like I've got confirmation that everyone agrees it's a shikra. I do get very frustrated when I can't answer things, but that's the beauty of being here and the beauty of... To Mamba Link to have a little look at our Batelia nest. I can't see anybody home. Oh, yes, there is someone home. Hello, chicka chick. I can't see any adults here, but I did just see a little fluffy head pop up there from the nest. Getting this light is very tricky this morning. There is no sun, so it's difficult to get a view through these branches with it being so shaded in here, but there is definitely a chick present. Very cool. Let's just see if we can pick out a little bit of movement here. It would have been lovely to see one of the adults here. These Batalias, such beautiful birds. Michelle, it is. They will create a nest so there's enough warmth for any little guys that are in there. to stay warm. As they get more feathered, they're going to be able to maintain their own body temperatures more and more, so that adults don't have to spend as much time with them. They can spend more time out looking for food for these little guys. So it's not sort of warm, it's not like it's in a cup nest like these weavers make. These weavers make beautiful cup nests, and some of the other birds will also make nice little perfect domes that they will line with all good things. This is mostly just sticks, but it will be insulated to the perfect level for a baby bateleur. And when they're small, before they've got feathers, the adults will spend much more time providing body heat and warmth for these little ones. Come on, give us a head wiggle. There's definitely someone up there. Oh, I'm going to send you over to Cedric. I've just been told he's got something with a heart-shaped nose. I'm going to guess at a waterbuck. Let's find out.
I was just sitting with a beautiful waterbuck. Yeah, Treehouse Dam, a nice little family that just came down. And of course, one male impala ram that's just amongst them. Feeling nice and safe, with safety in numbers. And you can see two female waterbuck with a little calf in between them. So just really relaxing now next to the water areas. And with their real furry, fluffy coats on them. Of course, as you know, they are always hanging around water areas, hence the name waterbuck. And you'll find many times waterbucks also kind of graze around. So they mainly graze on kind of coarse grasses. Actually, seldom really eaten by other grazing animals. So they really feed on nice coarse grass species. And as well, seldom you'll find them as well browsing on leaves. So if there's not much grass around, you'll find them browsing on leaf areas. But the funniest thing about a waterbuck is really that white ring around their bums. So it really looks like a toilet seat that they have been sitting on for quite some time. And there you can see a beautiful male. Look at that, absolutely nice recurved horns. And now you can see that clear, real ring on his bottoms. Very, very interesting for those rings. As you know, that the waterbuck really hangs around real thick areas as well, around the riverines, around dams. Of course, that's pretty much a nice little follow me sign for the waterbucks. You can really follow each other through the real dense areas. A nice big, is a beautiful bull that time, absolutely beautiful bull. Of course, you'll find that the waterbucks, exactly like the not impalas, but the kudu and nyalas, very much family orientated with the females. So you'll find that the females is really much sisters and aunts and all very much related. And of course, controlled by a dominant bull. I see something, the bull sees something. I want to see, there's something alarm calling to the side, yeah. I want to see maybe. I don't see much around. Of course, very, very fantastic eyesight, and there's a brilliant sense of hearing, and of course a sense of smell. And that nose is so cute, really a heart-shaped nose. If you look at most antelopes, they don't really have that beautiful heart-shaped nose. Well, of course, your waterbucks, they've got that real kind of a Valentine's nose, if you want to call it. Well, they also give it a real kind of musty smell off, because they've got a gland, a sweat gland underneath their coats that actually secretes a certain oil. So they secrete a certain oils under their skin, and that oil will actually coat their fur, and and it actually protects it from the water, from the dampness, so it doesn't have to really create any mold. Big G, good morning. How do waterbuck communicate? Well, waterbuck communicate as well with the sensors as well, scent glands around them, as well as they do have sometimes a little, can I say, not snorting, but it's a very low frequency noise that they do make amongst each other, but mainly due to scent. They make a lot of course, areas around the water areas, they actually leave a lot of their scent around that side just to communicate and see when each one will be in estrus, as well as many times you'll find a female will urinate, and if she is going into heat, you'll find actually the male will roll back his lips on the scent and actually open the vomeronasal gland. So the vomeronasal gland sits just under the palate of the waterbuck's mouth, and actually let that scent run all across that gland itself to actually get exactly the timing for the females when they go into heat. But there is a lot of wind around at the moment as well. I think that's why they're very much in the open clearing. It's a little bit safer for them at this kind of weather condition. And I think that Impala as well is feeling very kind of happy being around with these waterbucks. So just really much feeling safe in case anything does come around here. He's got some eyes and ears. And there's just a big hippo, of course. Treehouse Dam still got the big hippo that's still hanging around here, but he's just still in the water. He's still bobbing up and down here. I think he's just, at least he's got some company today for the morning. What did he just do there now? I was actually on my way to the hyena den when I bumped into these waterbucks. I think I'm going to still maybe make my way just now to the hyena den. I just want to see what's happening that side there. Somebody did go past here quite earlier, and there wasn't much happening there, quite quiet. And Gillian. Yes, it must be definitely painful if you're thinking, well, when are you going to be next on the menu for predators? But that's the reason. But they very well must remember your prey species. They're always quite aware, always really kind of using each other's safety in numbers situation like this now. And of course, it's for a predator. It takes a lot to really take to really get up close and or have a successful hunt. But, I mean, I can't think for the animal themselves. I'm sure maybe they don't really think in that way. We just sit here with these waterbuck and the young male impala ram, and let's just listen out. And there's a little bit of wind coming through, but let's just listen to a little bit of nature.
nice we got to see that little Batelia chickie. Not too much, but it's chilly today. I'm sure he's snuggled down like everyone else this morning. I'm on Twin Dams Road and I'm gonna pop around to Ingwe Alley because I also haven't checked on my puddle for a couple of days. I'm very interested to see after those 2 or 3 very, very hot days how much this water has receded. We might get rain. I'm still watching the sky, but I don't think it's going to be, although other parts of the country, I know Madikwe had something insane like 40 or 50 mils a couple of days ago, so it could happen. I'm not sure we're going to get enough to start filling pans again, but I'm very keen to go and look and see how much this has dropped. Little puddle. Oh, there on Ingwe. I haven't seen any sign of lion tracks or even leopard tracks this morning, which is quite surprising. We often see there's so much movement of leopard on this property. We do often see tracks crossing. Sometimes they're fresher than others. Oh, sorry, dove. It stuns me how animal movement can change so quickly in this area. A wild chick. We find smaller tracks very slowly and carefully. There's some ants on the road in front of us, Craig, that I just didn't want to run over. Wild chick, we just look very slowly and carefully, and we often get in and out, and then we walk backwards and forwards and peer and go back and peer again is how we find these smaller tracks. These ants, are they ants? They are ants. They're just kind of milling around there, which is quite oh no, hold on, they're not milling around. There's something happening over there. I'm going to get out and have a look and see what's happening. There's a big blob of ants, technical term. Collective noun for ants, a blob. Let me go and look and see what's happening here. Whew. There is a hole just here, but it doesn't look like that's where they're gathered. I don't know why they're here or what they're doing. Normally we would see ants going to somewhere or from somewhere. If there was an obvious food source, they might gather around an obvious food source. It does look like they're gathered. Sorry, ants. Move that other way. I thought there was maybe a hole under there, but there's not. Ronaldo, you're right, they do always seem to be busy, but these ants are just sort of hanging around. There's sort of a clump of them just here in the middle, and I thought maybe there was a something going on there or a hole, but it seems they're just gathering. They're gathering here and here, and this one's picked up a piece of sand. Suggestions welcomed. They're spread out all across here. There's another ant blob here. I don't know. Huh. Often these winds and temperatures affect the behaviour of all animals, from big to small. Hayley, yes, they will. But it's more, you often see some of the bigger ants attacking termite colonies. You often see them, they'll be on raiding parties and they'll be on their way back carrying eggs. But I've got no idea what's happening here. Anyone suggestions? You are more than welcome to send them through. It's just a bunch of loitering ants. Loitering blob of ants. I'm gonna pick my way around them. I don't want to squash them. Yeah, they don't seem to be going to or from anywhere. It could be that there's some invisible food source on the floor, maybe something's urinated or something and there's sugar in the urine, or I'm guessing now. I'm completely guessing. I don't know. I'm glad I saw them though and didn't squash them. Nancy, yes, they do appear to be wandering aimlessly. I'm sure they're not, because nothing in nature, there's a reason normally for everything in nature. But yeah, aimlessly wandering ants. Any other answers on a postcard would be appreciated. Ants will sometimes move house if they think a nest or somewhere they're living is going to get flooded. But they won't. But then they'll sort of go, oh, let's all move, and they all go somewhere. But they were just like kind of hanging around. Oh, we've got some Inyala. Hello. Indigo girl, an ant war, possibly. That could be what's happening here, but no, I don't have an answer. I need to try and I don't mind some speculation, but I don't know, and I'm not afraid to say I don't know. Hello, girlie. Beautiful female Inyala with her. There's a teenage boy at the back there. These antelope are so pretty. Nice to get a clear view of this young male as well. You can see he's transitioning between that female type stripes and then developing those darker colours that we see so nicely in these males. And they will change their coat like this all the time. He's not got his full adult coat, his full adult markings. The big boys won't bother him too much. They won't feel he's a threat. And they will just let him carry on. But as soon as he's filled out, got those dark colours, those horns have come through, he's going to start getting moved around by the dominant males. They're not going to want him in their space. And the same goes for lots of these animals. Once they do reach sexual maturity, they need to start making their own way, because they do become a threat to other dominant males in an area. They're delicately nibbling here. KG, they are beautiful, these Inyala. I'm not surprised they're your favourite. Everyone's got a favourite for their own reasons. I think my favourite antelope is probably a clip springer. I haven't seen in Djuma, You seen Klipspring here, Craig? No, not in Djuma. They prefer these like rocky outcrops and things, and they're tiny little rugged antelope with tiny little feet, little hooves, and they bounce across rocks. I actually saw an amazing clip recently of, I think it was wild dogs had cornered a family of klipspringers on the edge of like a cliff on the edge of a koppie, and they just all stood like mountain goats sideways and just eyed these wild dogs, and they didn't get them. They were so close to the edge of this koppie. I would love to hear what Cedric's favourite antelope is too, and also JP's. Cedric, JP, what's your favourite antelope and why, please? I'm going to carry on to Ingwe Alley and leave these little Nyala in peace. Let's go check the puddle.
Yeah, look, we've got a little steenbok, a male steenbok. You know, so they usually always run when you get close to them. So I stopped a little bit far away. Oh, as I said it, there he goes. Oh my word! Bye bye. He runs. So it's part of the dwarf antelopes. Of course, a nice male steenbok, nice big, long, straight horns, and that's as big as they do get. I don't really get much bigger than that. So they're very, very, very cute little antelopes. Kelly, good morning. Welcome to our sunrise safari. My favorite antelope. I'll still go with a Nyala. I think a Nyala to me is still my all-time. It's just because of especially the males. It's just that beautiful white that is at the back of their spine, and when they got that philo erectus, when they kind of erect that hairs all up and they fluff their tails up, I think it's just a Nyala, it's just a stunning looking antelope. All right, so thanks for the question, Kelly. Well, I'm sure a lot of people do enjoy those kind of antelopes around here. Even the kudus are also quite an impressive antelope that we do have in this area. Yes, I do have my jacket on again. It is, the temperature has dropped dramatically after the sun. The sun has gotten behind the clouds. Let's head to JP and see. Maybe he's got some spots.
Welcome back to Eco Training Pridelands. At the moment we're sitting with a leopard. I'm not familiar with this leopard, but I have been told that it's incredibly skittish. So therefore I'm going to speak as soft as possible and actually as little as possible. We've also provided the animal with a lot more space than that we would normally give because we don't want to upset it. You might notice just directly towards the left of it, there's a big impala ram that's hanging in the tree. And this time over here, it's not an impala ram, but it is definitely impala. There's horns. And what you'll find is that a lot of these rams are not alert about what's going on around them. And as they're so focused on fighting, as well as setting up territories, they don't have the same safety and numbers as they would normally have, and therefore they make for easy pickings. That's for the very same reason why African wild dog specifically has their pups at this time of the year. We're going to sit and watch our leopard guarding his prey and just see what he gets up to. I'm just going to continue speaking softly. So when it does come to leopards in the savanna system, we find that these males can sometimes get up to some 90 kilograms in weight. There's even records of well over 100 kilograms. Good morning, V, and welcome to the show. Yes, it's absolutely stunning. I'm really glad that he is now relaxed and that he's a little bit more on the resting side. And my concern was that he was actually going to hop down and go and feed on the ground. But coming back to leopards in the savanna system, we find that they're much larger than those that we find in the Western Cape region of around Cape Town. And they have seen leopard once or twice, and they're seldom more than 30 kilograms in weight. And that literally means they're 2/3 heavier over here compared to that of the Western Cape. And when it does come to taking prey up into a tree, we see savanna leopards typically does this to avoid the predators such as hyena or lion can steal their food. But if you're down in the Western Cape where there's no competitors, you simply just feed on the ground. And one of the reasons why savanna leopards is much larger than the ones in the Western Cape is because of larger prey items and more food availability compared to where they have to go for small prey items in those areas. Now let's watch him, and hopefully he might start feeding again. I'm also very excited to see this leopard, and it's not that leopard is uncommon in Pridelands at all. It's just quite often when we are doing segments, we're in the wrong place at that moment, or simply that I know that it's an area where I cannot move in with a vehicle, or sometimes on one of the neighboring areas where I don't have traversing rights. We now currently know about a female with her cubs. Another female with 2 cubs was seen last night. I'm not sure if it's our female with 3 cubs. Maybe one of them was not showing itself. And then this morning again, this big male that's busy feasting on his impala ram that he killed. And then quite often close by to the eco-training camp, at night and in early parts of the morning, I also often hear leopard calling in the drainage line close to the camp. And then a few weeks ago, one of the leopards that do hang around that main area of Ndlovu Dam also started a whole bunch of elephants which all ran into our direction. In general, when elephants do smell any form of predator, they become very upset, especially if there's little ones, as that was in that case. And quite often that leopard pops up directly just after the sun has set or after the sun has gone down to come and drink at that dam. Good morning, Indigo Girl, and welcome to the show. It is really stunning sighting what we have over here, and he's so relaxed. I just wish I had a camera with me this morning, and a lens would have definitely helped. For the moment, we're just going to give him all the space that he needs. That's one thing that I don't like, is actually pushing animals, and That's why it's so important that you understand their behavior and what their behavior tells you. And at the moment, we know that he's relaxed, but when they do become edgy with you in their presence, just like us, they've got different levels of tolerance to space. And some individuals will just walk right past the vehicle. And you don't want to push them off that they go down onto the ground, because then you can't view them. And secondly, you also might push the animal away from the kill if it feels that it is intimidated by the presence of the vehicle. And then things such as lion or other predators can potentially climb up there and go and feed on it. I've sometimes also seen that sometimes what leopards will do is that they will take the prey down onto the ground, then feed, and then take it up into... and sometimes if there's a predator then that approaches, then they take it straight back up into the tree again. We're going to sit here for a little bit longer, and let's go and see what Kelly is doing in a little small pan.
I have come back to the puddle, and I can barely believe how much these lines have dropped all the way down in less than a week. Amazing how quickly this has evaporated. However, I was just having a chat with Craig, and Craig pointed out some berries to me over on the left here, and I suggested that he might like to bring some berries over to join me at the puddle here. Would you not like to join me at the puddle, Craig?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Come show us your berries.
I'll show them on the camera.
They're very nice berries. He asked me, "Have you tried these berries this year?" And I said no. And he tried some, and he said, "They're really nice." And I thought he might like to share it with everyone. Such nice berries, Craig. These beautiful berries. And he really did seem to enjoy them just now when he was off trying them. On the Natal Guarri. Nice, ripe, juicy berries. I can't persuade him, it makes me sad. I'm going to draw another line in this puddle. Let's carry on up towards Philemon's Dip to see what we have to offer there. And he walked into the tree.
Still heading up on Zoe's. Happy that old JP's got a leopard in the tree on bushwalk. Fantastic, fantastic. Always good news. And definitely we missed out on our cats here on Djuma today. Looks like they'll have taken a day off. Hardly any tracks I found this morning. I didn't find lion tracks and leopard. I found one leopard track this morning, and that was for that male leopard coming down from Nyala south, but I don't think it wasn't too fresh. It was during the night time. It was definitely before the little bit of rain that we had this morning before drive. I'm scouring the area here, making sure we didn't miss on that. I think a hairy caterpillar got into my shirt today because I'm really itchy inside. I can't find that hairy caterpillar. Anyway, so hopefully that's not the case because it's a little bit uncomfortable. you are watching, if you do have a hairy caterpillar that comes into your shirt or something and those little needles will get stuck into your skin, but very fine, it becomes very irritable and all that, best thing to use is ash. Ash neutralizes it. Yes, true story. I've done it a few times now. Use ash for any hairy caterpillar issues.
Welcome back to Eco Training Pridelands. We still have our leopard and he's looking around and I'm not sure what it is what is catching his attention. And there's something directly underneath a tree. It might possibly be that there's a hyena that sneaked in. And quite often, if there is hyenas coming close by, we'll start growling and hissing at them. But now the focus is back on us again. But there's no signs that he's agitated in any way at the moment. One of the things I just wanted to mention earlier is when it does come to leopards, we find that their territories range according to distribution. And over here, they've got fairly small territories, and they're sometimes just a few square kilometers. And when it does come to a male's territory, we find that there's sometimes 2 to 3 females that might overlap with his territory. And what he gives them is access to food, and he simply mates with females. That's all that his purpose is. And when it comes to parental care, there's no parental care from that male. And it's actually very seldom that you see 2 leopards together. And once or twice in my guiding career, I've actually seen 3 together. And it's exceptional to see a cub and the mother and the male together. And especially that there's no interaction between that cub and the, or altercation between the cub and the male at that point. So we're going to sit and watch him a little bit longer. And I might just also mention the territory sizes. If you do go to the Western Cape, generally some 450 square kilometers for a leopard. Once again, because of small prey items. And in the Kalahari, although there's big food variety, there's big choices, food is not always consistent, and their territories might range up to sometimes 1,000 square kilometers, which they might traverse. We're also very fortunate in South Africa that the areas around the Sabi Sands and Skukuza, which is part of a Kruger National Park, is actually claimed to have one of the densest populations of leopard anywhere on the planet. Although Mumbai holds the record for having the densest urban population of leopard, and that's in India. Our leopard is still looking around. Good morning, Luke, and welcome to the show. And we're really great that this can be a highlight to your morning. Leopards are incredibly special animals, and I just love leopards. And it's one of my soul animals other than a great white shark, but that's another day's story. Let's watch our leopard and see what he's going to get up to. Hopefully, we were fortunate enough that he might still be here this afternoon. And for those of you who are joining us, we would love to see you at 14:30 Central African time. Have an awesome morning.
This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses.